Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may receive our higher conversation. Again, we always want to make sure that we are covering all over the planet in different time zones, whenever you may receive our higher conversation. Again, this is myself. I'm Hubert Naeem Roberts. I'm the chairman of Black Lives Matter Grassroots Flint, Michigan, and my beautiful co-host. And again, we always are coming to our community to share positive information as far as how do we work on providing different elements for solutions. So often people are stressing about victimizing or victimhood. There's one fact about life when you think about how can you be an illegal or an immigrant in America that was stolen from people that was already here. Again, when you think about the topic of a conversation, how do you look or how do you juxtapose it in your brain that someone can be classified in the most derogatory framework when you talk about an illegal alien? These are some classifications that other people in power puts on other people. And if you're not a Native American or even a Black person that is a legal contraband, when you think about us as Black people in this country, we were illegally stolen from our homeland in Africa. I know it's hard for a lot of you Negroes to accept that because you guys want to be white, but you cannot deny up is up, down is down, right is right, left is left. I know you want to deal with alternative facts, but one thing that we like to really kind of go in deep with a higher conversation, which is the title of our podcast, is that we want to be engaging in conversation that is going to cause you to think, going to spark your mind, but we want to get engaged in solutions. We are not looking to just hype up mess, silliness, talking about one another, all that shading on one another. No, we are engaged in how do we repair the brokenness within all of us? How do we understand how we became broken on many levels? And then how do we develop solutions to fix some of our brokenness? Just like with our one-on-one community conversation. You know, that's a piece that we had been engaged in for several months. And then there was some underlying things that happened in the building that we are leasing that we were told that we could not use, and we are paying. We are not in this building free. We are paying a lease, and we were told that we could not have a conversation in our own building that we are paying rent in. And this building, Oak Business Center, that used to be Summerfield Chevrolet, was donated to the city by the family of Summerfield Chevrolet. This building that our office is in was donated to the city. And the city had a right to use it, and they kind of made it an empowerment center where people could come and rent different spaces and places in this building so they could further their dream or have an impact in the community. So I wanted to kind of start off there, but I'm always want to make sure that my sister, Miss D, is engaging in bringing us up to date with some things that she is really doing that we're supporting 100% as far as dealing with foster care. Foster care, when you think about understanding foster care in the micro and the macro, because of our enslavement, intentionally ripping away families. This country ripped away families, and when they stopped in 1883, when they stopped the importation of Africans as illegal contraband from African continent. So when they stopped allowing the slave trade and they was putting an end to it. Now y'all think about this. Let me make this clear to you guys, give you a history lesson. So Britain or England, which is the most despicable land or country on the planet, in my opinion. I think what they did, they colonized over 171, over 1.7 billion people at one time. That England actually was the empire that controlled 171 countries all throughout the Caribbean because all of their wealth, everything in England, they gained their wealth and their power by stealing it from the Africans, African labor, and actually stealing the resources on the African continent. They stole it by killing, raping, pillaging, every despicable act that you can think of. This is what these people did. And they want to call themselves a monarch. You know, they got all this pageantry and all this kind of stuff, but they are murderers. They are the most wicked people on the planet. So why am I giving you the foundation? Because I want you guys to know when we have conversation, I want to put it in context. Context is context. When we talk about foster care in our community, our people coming to a place we know nothing about, didn't speak the language, was thrown into this country, and our families was ripped apart, cut, brutalized. Men and women couldn't marry, couldn't have no religion, couldn't do nothing, guys. This is the country that we live in. This is how we got here. So she being in foster care or experiencing that, even going back to her mom and dad, her mom and dad's mom and dad's mom and dad, mom and dad. So we go back 10 generations, 10 generations of her family and my family. Because the whole construct of us understanding the ripping and the ripping away of our souls, of all of our memories, our culture. And then we find ourselves as many parents dealing with some sort of mental illness or just a lot of things that's going on when you think of today and the construct of foster care and how the needs for foster care to be funded is big, and understanding more people need to be a part of celebrating and encouraging our foster care young ladies and young men to be in environments or to be in homes that are going to give them the opportunity to experience their fullest that God has placed them to be. You can't experience your fullest greatness when you are being molested, when you are being tortured, mentally, physically, or emotionally. You can't be your best. You can't be what God created you to be. Because that's the tragedy when you think about how we become so warped in the essence of us as human beings that I can't even view my sister as a whole, or even when we view one another. We don't view each other as the most precious uh, entity on the planet. Either I'm going to abuse you, use you, or take advantage of you, because that's the essence of capitalism. So I'm setting that question up to our sister to see some things that's going on in foster care. We always want her to be able to bring concrete information because one of our goals is to try to bring some things together. Okay, there's many children that are in foster care not getting the services that they need, nor are they in families that have brought them in because there is a financial piece to foster care. So a lot of times people get foster care children and they only think of the children as an income or a means to an end, not to pour into the children so they can have music class, dance class, karate, AI, anything that you can imagine. We want to pour into this child. We want this child to have all of the opportunities that we can provide. And I'm just using this as an example. But we want this child to have all of the opportunities that we can pour into them so they can be a gift to humanity. Because we are only on this planet for a short time. All of us that are alive, that are born, we were not born to be an accident. And as a community, it's so important for all of us to support one another. So I want to turn it over to my sister, Dr. D. She's going to bring us some update information. Again, she's going to tell you some things that's going on in the Department of Foster Care and the program that she's running. So Dr. D, we want you to speak up and talk to the audience.
Hi everyone, my name is Devancy Afar. I'm 24 years old and I'm going to college to study social work, and I want to work with foster kids when I get my degree. I also am the president of MYOY, which is Michigan Youth Opportunities Initiative, and it's basically a program for people that have experienced foster care or who are currently in foster care. And you can get paid for the meetings. We have like cooking classes. We go on different trips, like the Pistons game. Every year we go to Michigan Adventures and stuff like that. So we have like a lot of team building events. We went to round one in Auburn Hills. We went to the movies to see Black Panther 2. So it's a very encouraging group to help people that are in foster care or who have experienced foster care, and I'm just proud to be a part of this group. One of the events that we have coming up is called Fostering Connections Roundtable Talk Dialogue, and it will be at the Flint Public Library March 3rd from 5:30 to 6:30. And basically, during this event, they will be showing like information about foster care, how you can become a foster parent, the statistics of children that come out of foster care, the different areas in Genesee County where children are being entered into the foster care system the most, and just different information for people that want to be a foster parent and adopt. And this is also a conversation to bring awareness to the community of how great this issue is, because we need foster parents. We need people that actually want to be a mother figure or a father figure to a child that does not have that or does not have family that can take them in.
That's wonderful. So when you mention about um, working to recruit people in the community as positive role models or fathers and mothers. So part of your responsibility is to go and speak at different places around the city or the county, encouraging people to become foster parents. That's one of your responsibilities.
No, it's not part of me being the president. I just choose to do it because I want people to know that this is a serious issue.
Now, do you guys have material like material that when you go to different places, and I'm meaning, places like senior citizen places, um, different, we have a different lot of block clubs. Now we have a lot of people that are doing line dancing. I don't know if you ever thought about going to a lot of places where they have like Hustler on the Move. They almost got about 20 different groups of people that are involved in a lot of these line dancing and things like that as far as for fun activities. Yeah. Today they having a big event down at the St. Michael's Event Center where you remember the guy that made the song Boots on the Ground? They having a big event down there tonight, and that would have been an excellent place for you to speak for about 5 minutes because it's going to be about 1,000 people there.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, real talk. It's going to be about 1,000 people there. Okay. Tickets are $50 a piece. They're not playing. Oh, because the guy that invented the song is from South Carolina.
And he's coming?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And they're coming in with horse and buggies and everything.
Oh, wow.
Oh, not playing. But I'm just saying, think about, those kind of places, because you're dealing with those kind of places. A lot of times those people are retired.
Okay.
So first of all, you're saying what my demographic is, so I'm just encouraging you to think about, developing your strategy, just like, you always want to outline what your strategy is. This is the scheduling for, we got 83 Howard University students coming in from March 7th to the 14th. That's going to be working with Black Lives Matter, grassroots in Michigan. So we have to put together almost like a plan of action. where they're going to be, because their time is measured. You know, what they're going to be doing every day is almost scripted. You know what I mean? How can they be here where they can engage and have the most impactful? Same thing with you. You want to be able to go to different places and help build up your confidence. That's one thing, you got to, be bold to go to different places and talk to them like you're talking to the audience about the importance of the need of individuals to think about and be about being a foster parent. And so I just wanted to understand, what are some of the places that you've been, and what is your mandate as far as how are you guys, when you guys meet, how are you guys really going out to encourage people to be foster parents?
Well, I would say just like informing people one about the issue and showing like the statistics. Like there was like a graph that was showing like a whole bunch of statistics about how people, I can't remember exactly the percentage, but like a lot of kids come out of foster care and they age out and they become homeless because they don't have like a stable family situation. And I think the graduation rate of somebody coming out of high school that was in foster care is like 50% or something like that. So I think just like going over those statistics and making people aware, like these are the children that are, they could be your neighbors, they could be, your child's classmate and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, those kind of numbers, again, to a greater degree, are unacceptable. And that's how, when you think about how do we see a situation and how do we bring people together to solve the situation. Now, I don't believe what they say in the Bible. I think that's terrible when they say there's always going to be poor people. I don't believe that. I think it's unacceptable. I think that allows a lot of Christians, Muslims, I think that's a scapegoat. I think it's a lie when you say there's always going to be, like she just mentioned, about people aging out. You age out of foster care or a situation and you become homeless. That should not happen in a country like this that has the naked, just immense waste of just money. This country wastes more money than any country on the planet. This country, America. And so what she is saying is very, very vital as far as how do we work to engage our community. Now, are there things that you guys, have y'all thought about campaigns that are strictly directed in Genesee County, campaigns to encourage people to become foster parents, like on TikTok, Facebook, all of these? I know you're on this platform, Fli-City Blackout, but even radio spots. Are there, I've never heard of foster care radio spot to encourage people to become foster parents. Why is that not?
I think it's probably would have to do with networking and connection and stuff like that too. I mean, we need to get like a lot more people like around my age that would want to even speak out, because as far as like, children being minors, I don't know if they would be able to just like get on the radio and like, speak and stuff like that. But if we could get more people that, are around my age that have had experience, maybe we could get, other people on the radio that would want to talk about. I mean, I would love to go on the radio and talk about.
Okay. We're gonna work on making that happen on W92.7. The guy that we have a relationship, his name is Dr. D. I don't know if he got a radio show, D on W. You ever heard of
92.7?
Yeah, his name is D. He comes on in the afternoon, I think. But anyway, I'll put a call out to him, and we're gonna, again, guys, this is how you network. So we're gonna put a call out to him to get her on 92.7 to share the importance of becoming a foster parent, giving those statistics. I think that's something that we definitely gonna work on doing. I'm gonna work on getting that together. He's been a proponent of Juneteenth, and with the fishing trip. Um, Now, where do you see yourself? How, as you said about you are engaging in your education, where do you see your best impact? What is some of your best skills? What do you think that you, Miss D, brings to the table that you feel comfortable doing? So, what are some things? What are some of your strongest attributes? Other than you got hair and I don't.
Honestly,
I'm
I
mad.
think
You know.
my greatest impact would be just being able to share my story and not feel ashamed about it, because there's so many people that they would feel like, oh, why you telling your business and stuff like that. It's not about telling my business. It's about, this is a serious issue and I don't want to see any other child have to go through what I had to go through, because really no child should have to go through it. But I understand, sometimes things happen. Yeah. And if you are going to go through that situation, you should be able to get the resources to help you, be better and not be a statistic of that situation, because you also have like a lot of foster kids that end up, in prison or in jail and things like that. And I think that's because, they might be in a foster home where there's so many other kids and like, the parents aren't really paying attention, or they just really don't care and things like that. And that's going to affect us later on down the line. It's amazing you say that. I'm in a program called Urban Boy Scouts. It's a program that works with young boys, young men, 5 to 18 years old. One of our young men, his name is Banal, and I've tried to get him connected with her and her team. He is 15. He's in a home out in Beecher. He lives in a closet. We've never been allowed to go into the house as mentors. He's the family that has him are white. They are they are to me they're racist. In their yard is all Trump paraphernalia. I mean, it's just ugly, in my opinion, personally. I believe he's not being treated fairly. I don't think he's getting the adequate things to deal with his hygiene. We work on all of that. I think he's afraid. I think he's being held captive or hostage wise, in my opinion. That's just my opinion because I've taken him home several times. I've never been allowed into the home. Sometimes when we try to talk to him about his personal, how he's living, all that kind of stuff, he no direct eye contact. He tried to change the conversation because I believe he's living in fear. And talked to her. I talked to Miss D a little bit about him as far as how do we, as just mentors, advocate for him being removed from that place. I want him removed out of that environment personally. And so that's something that always, every time I'm around him, it's in the back of my mind. How can we save this young man? Because I do believe that he would be a statistic. Once he turns 18 and he has no value for this family, they're going to kick him out and he'd be on the street. And now he's intelligent and he's overweight. He got I do believe that he has some psychological issues based on him being, him being traumatized because he was with some family members when I met him when he's 15 now. I met him when he was 8 or 9 years old. I've been knowing him that long. And I used to go pick him up when he was 8, 9, and he was with his aunt and uncle and them then. And even they lived like hermits and they didn't allow me in their house either. They were very, very different people, man, real talk. You know what I mean? So I'm only bringing that up because I have someone that I really love this young man. I see greatness in him. And I'm just, as much as I learned from Miss D, and then going, and she encourages us to go to some of the meetings, some of the events, so we can be more educated.
and then how we need to help him and others. You know what I mean? I too have taken on in some of my. I'm around in a lot of spaces and places, and I work to, listen, but when people ask me questions or I think there's an opportunity, I share with people about becoming foster parents and the need for that. You know what I mean? And I have her number, and I've been trying to encourage people. I have a young lady that you can talk to if you're interested because you're retired. And a lot of times that's I talk to, a lot of people that are retired and decent people to some degree as far as loving humanity. You know what I mean? So help us with our community understanding becoming a foster care parent. I think people are afraid because they don't know what that entails. And then bringing in someone into your home, they don't know if the person gonna kill them. I mean, your how do your team demystify some of the spookiness around being a foster parent? Because there's a lot of spookiness.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, there's this like negative stigma that foster kids are bad, right? And you hear caseworkers say it. I mean, you hear a lot of people say it. They really, say it to the point to where people are scared, to be foster parents. And I think people just have to put themselves in the child's shoe and think like, man, what if I was in that situation? Would I want somebody to give me a chance? Because at the end of the day, every child deserves parents. Every child deserves a family, love, and support. So just because this child comes from not the best background, like you have to really think this is not their fault. They didn't choose to be in that situation. So I think some people are just judgmental of, foster kids and stuff, and they look at them maybe differently, or some people look down on, kids that are in foster care. And you just have to put yourselves in that child's shoe because at the end of the day, like if we can get more people that actually really want to do it for the right reasons, not because of a check, stuff like that, because you actually want to help the child, I think that it would be beneficial because it also could challenge you in a different way. And you could also help that child. And it's not like you're not going to get help. Like there's so many resources and there's programs out here. So, you're not just going to be left with the child.
Wow. Okay. I'm glad to hear you say it like that. One thing that struck me, I love how you said every child deserves a parent. I think that is the essence of our conversation today. Um, I think that we hear a lot of stories to some degree about children being raised by even their natural mom and dad. And then you hear some stories about being molested by an uncle or an auntie or a cousin and all these other things that we kind of hide and keep hidden, but we don't want to be truthful. Because a lot of times when we are honest about how we engage our young people, for our young people to have personhood, how our young people know they're not supposed to be inappropriately touched, that starts early. A lot of the things that happen a lot of times in our families that break our families up is because we advocate or obfuscate our responsibility as parents. We don't want to be parents and want to push it to someone else. Especially in this day and time when you have so many young people that's like in their 30s and 20s, you know, and some of my pushback on a lot of these young people, they definitely should not be parents because they're still children. They're still struggling with, being abandoned and being molested and being hurt and all that. Now they got children. See what I'm saying? And this is how that cycle is repeated. And so one of the things that I think is beautiful, that my sister D and how she is feeling about the importance of foster care. See, that's how we can start breaking some barriers and start healing our community. And I think if anything that we could say to our communities is what what is your response? As you listen to this conversation, what is your responsibility? You talk about it in this call. You talk.
Yeah, so I just want to say that, like, you made some really something very points. At the end of the day, if we want to change the situation, like, people have to really sit there and because it's not just young people that don't need children. There's a lot of people just in general that didn't really have no business being parents. And if you know that you went through a lot of trauma before you have children, you need to go seek help. You need to get therapy. You need to go get the proper help because it's not fair to put your child in a unruly situation because you didn't go get the help or fix things before this child came into this world.
Now, understanding that part of getting help. Now, do you think your organization and who you work with, um, what are some things or some areas you see that needs to be changed, that could be updated? Because that's how, a lot of time thinking being a younger person, you have stuff that's been in place for 50 years, 20 years, 30 years, I don't care how you define it. But when you think about all that you've learned, and I know it's been a short time, but where do you think you could best use your energy to be innovative and to be impactful?
I think the first thing they need to change is like when a child is being removed, usually they reach out to the family first, and I understand they probably want the child to be with their family, but you also need to do like a background check on the family to make sure that they're ready to take on that child because there are situations, even like mine, where I was with my family and it still wasn't a good situation.
Mm-hmm.
I think people should have to get mental health evaluations before they become a parent, or if they're getting a foster child, they should have to take like some type of mental health evaluation because
Mm.
not just going to the home and doing a visit to me is not enough to see that if this home is good or not. Just because there's an extra spare bedroom doesn't mean that's going to be the best environment for the child. So I think that we do need to come up with a better way to see that this child is really going to be in a safe environment or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. And so when you mention about, checking, do you think checking like that at that level will dissuade people? Because you said it earlier, people are kind of very, very private. Now, how would you try to change that mindset where people will be more open to want to allow them to be checked, to make sure that they are about their business, about they have the best interest for that child? How would that, or how would you change some things in that area, if you understand what I'm saying?
Well, to me, if you really want to change a child's life, you're not going to have an issue with being mentally evaluated.
Oh, okay then. Okay.
That's how I feel about that because if you have a problem with it, to me, that's like a red flag.
I got you. That's a good, that's good. Do you think that, and why I'm asking this question, because again, when you strategize and you analyze and you attack a situation, that's why I asked you earlier about, what spaces and places, what spaces and places do you go to work to uh, find these individuals that's going to help give you, that's going to help give you the type of people that you are looking for to be to be going to be the foster parents and be advocates for a child that they um, are responsible for, and I'm laying that out like that because I think it's very critical as far as some of the mindset needs to be changed, number one, and some of you guys or your attempt to recruit people, I think that needs to be updated because that's why I said earlier about the different dance groups, um, senior citizen buildings where senior citizen center, where they have a lot of people that go there for just activities. Now they go to these senior citizen places, they play cards and checkers and they do a lot of stuff there, but also they are trying to fulfill some time in their lives. And I think it would be a very wonderful campaign to go to these different places because you'd be surprised somebody never thought about being a foster care parent. Because what happens, being a parent is part of being a responsible human being, and the kind of love and appreciation that you can give to a child, like you say, can change and impact their life for the rest of their life. And I think that's an area where we as a community could be more impactful on when you talk about how do we how do we heal our community where we are more engaging in making sure other children don't fall through the cracks. So I'm asking a question. Do you think that on a recruitment level or even getting the information out, is there a way that you can talk to your people, the people that are in the administrative level as far as community engagement? Have you ever heard community engagement in your meetings?
Yeah, actually, they do try to. Well, one of the things they try to do is try to get businesses and community involved to come out to like the round table talk and stuff, so that people can be involved and be informed and everything like that, so they can maybe partnership with different businesses and stuff. So I think it's just more about people coming out because it's like, I post stuff on my page. I know on their page, they post when they have the events and stuff. I think it's just about getting people to come out.
Yeah, and we're gonna we got a few minutes left. We're gonna turn our segment to something else. So I want to say this. I think it's beautiful, but I do believe that there should be an alternative effort. And I'm going to challenge you guys as far as how you're getting information out into the community, how you being intentional about that. I think there needs to be, you guys need to think about a foster care recruitment campaign. I'm talking about a campaign that's serious about being actively engaged, like you just said. There's one aspect about businesses and getting people to the round table, but there's another thing about going where people are. Think about going where people are. You know, you along with you, it should be you and other young people. It would be you, another young lady, and two young men, because I think that would be in different age groups. I think you guys could be the ambassadors, number one, just like we expect you to be an ambassador for Black Lives Matter Grassroots Front Michigan. And I also think that you guys need to do a research on a lot of people in Genesee County that have made it out of foster care. You guys need to capture, find out those that have made it out of foster care, and you want to engage them. And then you want to find out different entertainers, from actors to movie stars to politicians, business people. Y'all need to research different people that have aged out of foster care, went to college, but they were raised with foster care parents. That's another thing y'all need to do. That would be a good strategy to connect with people that have made some name for themselves. But I think that's an idea that I'm hoping that you're not just saying and forget about it. But
I have done it. I know some people that Keisha Cole was in foster care.
See what I'm saying? Okay then. Okay. Yeah, I think those kind of things would give more help people to become more engaging at Keisha Cole's level, you know, and then other levels, because then if you can reach them and through foster care, there's an element to reach them. Nobody can, everyone on the planet can be touched. All this stuff, your fame and your all that, that's some BS. Everybody can be touched. It's just how you touch them in the right way. But I think those could be some of the biggest advocates. Yeah. Now, Before this segment ends, what is one thing you want, some information you want to leave them with? And always give them your name and your number and how they can contact you, and then give them some information on foster care.
Okay, so I want to talk about the event on March 3rd. The event on March 3rd, the round table talk is going to be at the Flint Public Library from 5:30 to 6:30. And I would really love if the community could come out. It's going to be in a room at the Flint Public Library. All you have to do when you get to the front desk, just ask them like for the name of the event. It's the Fostering Connections Roundtable Talk. And I just want to see more people come out. Because we did have a couple people the last one, but I just want to see even more people, even if like you're like, I don't know if I could take on a child, just at least come out and listen to the information. And
what time is that again?
5:30 to 6:30.
Okay, go ahead.
So that would be Tuesday, March 3rd at the Flint Public Library. And you can contact me at 810-280-4441. And then I have another contact. Her name is Michelle. Her name is Michelle Edwards. And you can contact her at 810-339-1497.
And again, guys, this is very, very important. Please share with your family, friends, and your neighbors. Please post this on Facebook, TikTok, X, anything that you are engaged in, any kind of streaming. Please post our conversation, our high conversation today. Also, the information that she just gave you. I think that's how we build a foundation of connection. We want to remove from victimhood. We're not victims. We are empowered with the power of our Creator. And I'm not going to dismiss anyone's understanding of their theology or how they view God. I'm just going to say this. We need to get back in tune with loving each other. We need to love each other. We really need to get back into loving another human being, and not based on what they can give you or what you can get from them or what I can give you. You need to just see me, see her, and just see each other just in love, guys. This is our platform. And so before we close out, I want to bring up something. I had a chance the other day. I don't know if you guys ever heard of ISO Speed. This young man is 21, 20. He just turned 21 years old. He has over 50 million subscribers. He's out of Ohio. He's out of Ohio, somewhere like that. He toured 15 countries in Africa in 28 days. I want to encourage all you guys to go onto his web, go onto YouTube, and you guys need ISO Speed is a young man's handle on YouTube. You guys, please go and check this young man out. Go and check out the African countries and how he was treated in Africa, and then look how he was treated in Europe. He went to Europe. He went to Spain. He went to Greece. He went to England. At one place in Greece, some kids gave him some. He loved Kentucky Fried Chicken for whatever reason, I don't know. But he loved Kentucky Fried Chicken. Kentucky Fried Chicken all over the world. So they gave the white boy run up to the car. ISO Speed here. And he opened up he thinking he was giving them some food. He opened it up and it was a banana. And the guy started going, like he's an ape, man. And in different parts of Europe, they called him the N-word. I mean, it was ugly, guys. Please go and check this out. Young man, his name ISO Speed. Please check this young man out. 21 years old. He turned 21 in Kenya. I think he was in Kenya. They had his birthday in Kenya, I think it was. But it's a mind-blowing experience because when they was doing the reaction, a lot of people around the world, they was asking people in Japan, all around the world, What's the poorest people on the planet or poorest country on the planet? Everybody was saying Africa and black people. And that's so far from the truth, y'all. That's why I'm encouraging you guys to go on a tour. Don't be afraid to be black. Go on a tour with this young man. I want y'all to go to YouTube, put in ISO Speed. That's his handle. Like I said, he has over 50 million subscribers. Once you go and view one of them, it's going to attract you to watch more of them because the young man, listen, y'all, I was in Ghana last year, me and Mr. Robinson. I'm going to tell you guys, I was in Ghana for 11 days. It was the most, I cried, man. It was the most incredible experience I've ever had in my life. Not one time did I feel like I didn't belong. Not one time did I feel that it's like, in America, we always are kind of tense. It seemed like everything just flowed away in my body as I'm walking around. And I ain't gonna lie to you guys, I'm over in Africa and I got on all white every day. And everything I took to Africa, I gave away. I just love giving away all my stuff, man. I gave away my hats, my sailor hat and everything, man. And it was amazing that the community that I was with, I was in this community, right? I was in Juna, in Accra, but I was in Juna. This is part of the Ga community. We were in 5 different kingdoms. When we was traveling around there, there's 5 different kingdoms. We was in the God kingdom because we were invited. One of our brothers in California got married to a God sister, and we were invited to the wedding. Wedding ceremony was out cold. They came in. They asked us first, "Do you mind being dressed?" We had to be dressed in their culture attire, and they said, "Do you mind being?" If any of y'all remember the scene in Eddie Murphy Coming to America, where the women bathe the men and dress the men. They asked me like, "Do you mind being dressed by women?" I was like, "Yes, bring it on." So they brought in all this stuff, man. They brought in this cloth and all this stuff that they wrapped us in, man. And then Baba, that was marrying the young lady from the God community, they brought a chest in. The chest from the kingdom was full of gold. They, the brother, they had gold shoes. It was crazy. He had gold everything, man. I was like, hey, man, they wasn't playing either. They had some big brothers guarding the gold, the chest and everything, right? But the sisters was running everything. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. The sisters ran everything. Even over there, the sisters in power. But I'm just saying that the experience, and I want to encourage everyone, listen, you guys need to go to Africa, go back home. But please, ISO Speed, please, please, please go to his site. Check his site out because it's going to change your mind. It's going to change just people and their reaction with these young people crying. So many young people people her age and younger, crying because in their history class, they thinking black people living in huts, eating off the ground and all. Man, listen, when I was over there, man, I had animals following me. I don't know what that was about. But we was picking stuff off the trees. Look, over there ain't no candy. They don't have candy. They don't have candy like gum and none of that over there. But they do have everything is fresh. They don't, because it's hot. They don't, what do you call it, wrap stuff up, like your meat be wrapped up in cellophane and all. Everything you eat over there is fresh. They ain't into pigs and all that kind of stuff. They don't eat pork and stuff like that. And man, the women and the men, tight, like walk straight, like that. They got stuff on their head, they can stoop down like that, man. I seen a little woman dropped some money dropped on the ground. This lady had, because me, I'm about it, right? So I tried to put the thing on my head. I went to I went to a market, one of the largest market in Accra, in Ghana. I'm in there hanging out with the people, young people, man, about 1,000 of them. We bought them ice cream and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so I dropped some money down. The lady had this thing on her head, right? She got down, picked it up. I mean, nothing fell. It was like jazz. She scooped it up and and I was like, gee. Then we had some brothers had like a pallet on their head about this big, right? With socks and stuff like that, man. And man, their teeth white. I mean, y'all, man, listen, you got to go back home. So I'm saying all that to say that it's so important, guys, that we have a different mindset about who we are as a people. I want to leave you guys with understanding that we got to do some things differently. We have done some things so long in this country for 500 years. It's been some BS. We have been told, we've been colonizing the brain, y'all. We've been colonizing our thinking to hate each other. We've been colonized to despise each other, to exploit each other. And one of the biggest things that I'm trying to get our community to boycott, I believe the only power that we have in this country, not marching, not protesting, we got to stop spending our money at the liquor store, buying lottery, buying gas. We need to shut everything off for a whole month. All black and brown people need to shut everything off. Because if you understand Flint, Michigan, just the area that we're in right now, there's not one black-owned gas station nor liquor store in Flint, Michigan or Genesee County. Not one. Not one. Unacceptable. And we keep wanting to go to parties and all that BS. There's not one no black. We got 19 cannabis dispensary, not one owned by a black person. And the city council, along with the mayor's office, has allowed that. We've been poisoned by water for 14 years. Now they got a settlement. They got almost $600 million supposed to be distributed. For 14 years, the $700 million been sitting in the bank drawing interest. We haven't gotten, where do the interest go? Who getting the interest of the money been sent for 14 years, number one? They never said they're going to pay off all of our water bills. That the water has been poisoned, not by our means, but the water was poisoned in our community on purpose. That goes back to the leadership. See, leadership is the one that's supposed to protect the residents of a city. The mayor and the city council are supposed to protect us. They sold us out. Because how do a home get $1,000 when you done messed up my water, my pipe? We still can't drink our water. Do you know the damage that has caused our children? We are at Southwestern. Many of the children in this community have some mental illness from being poisoned by the lead. Lead poisoning is real. And so it frustrates me in my heart. And before I die, I really want to see a change in my community. That's why I fight so hard in this community. Yesterday, we were with the young people at Southwestern. And just trying to deal with these young people that are totally lost, that have no respect for nobody. And we're trying to touch their lives in a mighty way to get them to first love themselves. And hopefully they'll love someone else. Because we are trying to change their projection that they're either going to be dead or be in a multi-trillion-dollar business called the prison industrial complex. There are more people locked up today that was in prison, that were enslaved in 1810. If y'all think about 1810, there are more people locked up today that was enslaved in 1810. And y'all want to always give the North some kind of cushion. In 1830, but let me go back. In 1820, there were more people there was more black people enslaved in the North than there was in the South. And so that's why your history is so important. Let me close out with this. Um, King Kofi, King Kufi from Senegal. Um, in 1589, I'm getting it mixed up. So there's Malachi the second. So Malachi the second of Ethiopia in 1589, he fought against the Italians because Ethiopia was never conquered, was never colonized. This brother galvanized the whole country and made sure that those Italians did not colonize them. Sri Lanka, Sierra Leone, and Ethiopia are the only two countries on the continent of Africa. The continent of Africa has 54 countries and the island of Madagascar. The island of Madagascar. Only two countries were never colonized. Ethiopia and Sierra Leone. Now, I'm talking about this beautiful brother, Malachi II, in 1589. He rebuffed the colonization of his country, where he fought against the Italians that was trying to colonize them, beat them down, guys, and held on to his country. And I want to talk about Kofi. Kofi, back in uh, King Kofi was from Senegal. And what he did is he saw his people being enslaved and transported into slavery. What this brother did is, this brother was a mighty brother. He went through 15,000 men, Sahara Desert, lost 3,000, regrouped on the West African coast, sailed the Mediterranean Sea, bust up in Spain, captured 3 cities in Spain, right? The Spaniards, the European countries got together, 40,000. 40,000 went to holler at King Kofi. He crushed them all. You hear me? And his troop killed it. 15,000 killed 40,000. I mean, y'all need to look this up. A black king invaded Europe. Y'all didn't learn none of this in history. I'm just letting y'all know. Y'all just been brainwashed and bamboozled. I'm bringing you some information that you can look up. King Kofi, look him up. And instead of when then they brought more Europeans to kill him, and his guys, they refused to go back to Africa, and they fought in Spain to their death. See, that's when you talk about Wakanda, when you talk about who we are, and again, y'all got to remember, your ancestors, black people, have been traveling the world thousands of years before the Europeans even thought about making a boat. Again, guys, I want to thank you guys for listening to us. We always want to bring you real information that you can use. I want you guys, Dr. D gave you her information, foster care. I want you guys to give this young lady a call. I want you guys to be praying for this young lady. This is a mighty, mighty young lady. We want to lift her up. And we want to do all we can to support her because she's working to be an incredible, magnificent young lady. And we want to, as we get older, we older than she is, but we are like her uncles, like her big uncles. You know what I mean? Can't be her dad or anything, but we like her big uncles. And she a little sister to us, our little niece. And all we're trying to do is pour all we can into her so she can help carry this torch. But she needs people like you and me and others to help lift her up and be a part of her campaign to solve some of the foster care issues that we have amongst ourselves. Because she didn't tell y'all this. Some of the children that hurt the most is black and brown children that don't go into foster care. White kids get into foster care. So she didn't talk about that with you guys. So a lot of times we won't even bring our own into safe environments for them to be healed and made whole again. So in closing out, I'm Brother Hubert Naeem Roberts. I'm the chairman of Black Lives Matter Grassroots Flint, Michigan. not ashamed of it. We too are looking for you guys to come and be a part of what we're trying to do. We're not a hate group. When y'all think about, have y'all heard the NAACP doing anything in Flint or the Urban League? All y'all hear is mott, 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 because they're the number one plantation owners. But y'all don't hear nothing about the things that we do on a daily basis, guys. And I'm saying that because the NAACP ain't doing nothing. Urban League's not doing anything, guys, that's directly affecting the citizens. And we can't do nothing without you guys. We need you guys to come and be a part. Whatever talent you have, whatever skill you have, wherever you at, we need people to help save our community and heal one another and repair the brokenness in one another. That's all we're trying to do. We are not trying to hate on nobody. Yes, bigotry is real. Segregation is real. White hate is real. The system is against us. That's real. What we're saying is we want to deal with the realness and not be ashamed to be Black and saying, why can't we own everything in our community? Why we keep giving over our most precious resources is our children and our dollars. And we keep thinking Jesus is going to save us. My email is mentorroberts@gmail.com. Again, coming up in March, we have Howard University students are coming to Flint, Michigan for 7 days. We're going to be doing some wonderful work around the community with these young people. I'm hoping you guys will come be a part of some of the things we have planned. Again, we work to be on our podcast and be disciplined on Thursday from 5:30 to 6:30 and on Saturday from 5 to 6. And again, it's always important, guys, that you make sure that you smile at someone, hug a stranger, say something kind to someone, because the essence of life, understanding the short time that we are here to love one another, not hate. No matter what nationality you are or how you're thinking, guys. Hatred is real, but we're trying to stand on truth and love. So, in closing out, would you like to say bye? Anything else?
My name is Devontae Farr, and I'm proud to be a part of this work.
And again, that's a beautiful thing. I'm proud to be part of this effort. And again, Wakanda.
It's over.
Yeah, they cut the heat down. Yeah, they cut the heat down on us. That's why we got space heater. You know, our people